Okay, all right, everybody. First of all, welcome everybody. So we'll just say cheers to everybody right off the bat for getting on and being on time. Kudos to everybody that's 6 o'clock, and those of you continuing to roll in, welcome. I like to read the names that come in so I know who I'm speaking to. So, oh, there's Michelle. Oh, Colette. There's Colette. Hello. Hey, Colette, everybody, I'm Dana Eichenberg. I am Darcy's younger, better looking sister. And certainly less professional at doing this. But certainly, as I speak from my mother and our family, we're certainly very proud of what Darcy's done. And we're so excited to launch this book and read. We've all read it. There's so many nuggets to take away, and we're so proud of what she's done. So first of all, we'll just have a quick sip of celebration of Beyond and celebration of my sister's book and all her hard work. And then Deb, I want to give a shout out to Deb behind the scenes. We all know those people behind the scenes. Jess, your publisher, all those people who she's had assistance from. Cheers and kudos to all of you for the work you've done. So cheers.
Congratulations. Hooray.
Thank you. Here's to team effort.
Here's Darcy.
Champagne.
It takes a village.
It takes a village. It certainly does. I think that's a part of the Eichenberg mantra here, but and I know we've got some Danahers on here that have been a big part of it as well. So we certainly appreciate everybody joining us tonight. So tonight is really about all of our energy, everybody's skills, everybody's set of what we can do to just drive this book to the places where we believe it could go and get it in the hands of the people who know need it. Obviously, this book, I think I've lived a lot of the experiences. Some I've failed at, so Darcy's probably had to rewrite the chapters for some. I'm in here on a couple different examples, but certainly the authenticity that Darcy's put into this book is amazing. And our hope tonight is that you just continue to share it with all the people that you need, that need it, could read it. And gain from it, because it is so valuable to everybody. But we certainly want to celebrate. We want to keep it light and airy tonight, and allow everybody to kind of meet one another and to accomplish a few things. But first and foremost, just to share, we do have a couple goals, and the goals is to put it in 1,000 people's hands before the end of the year, and possibly 50 Amazon reviews. Is that correct?
Before the end of October. Reviews before the end of October. 1,000 or more before the end of the year.
Okay, so there's a little, we've got to get to work. So stop the drinking and get to work, everybody. Really, that's where it goes. But what we want to connect, and tonight we want to hear from Darcy. More so, I believe we've got a special guest. Hopefully, I just saw her down her second glass of champagne. So who knows how that will turn out. But it'll be certainly a surprise and something fun for all of us tonight. So celebrate each other. You've all made this happen. You've certainly been the guiding force to give Darcy the stories that she's lived and the stories that she's learned from all of you. And we thank you from the bottom of our heart as we kick off this book tonight. So without further ado, Darcy, I'd like to turn this over to you. Again, another toast to you and your success of book number 2. And thank you for everybody that has joined us here this evening. Cheers, Darcy.
Cheers.
Cheers, Dane. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. And Jessie, could Dana please run all of your author events? She is amazing. Yes, I am renting her out from time to time. We did have to twist her arm to play tonight, but I'm more than happy that this tonight was more of like the family night. So just kind of wanted family, good friends and supporters to come and hang out with us. So again, just to echo thank you. I could go through every single one of you and identify something that you've done to help support the not just the book coming into place, but me personally on this journey. Because as many of you know who are authors, Leslie's here and Rebby's here, Rebecca White Cotton, I know her as Rebby, Colette's here. a lot of us know that this is not an easy task. And so I'm just so grateful to have all of the support that I've had. Want to give a thank you to the Page Two team. That's my publishing team. So I see Trina and Jesse and Kendra, my editor. I mean, you guys, if you've been reading me for a while, you know that most of what I write is unedited. As a blogger, you don't really have somebody telling you very often, hey, that didn't make sense. They just wait for the next article. But my editor, Kendra, was great at being able to kind of rein in my voice without changing my voice. So thank you, Kendra, for that. And I hope that if you haven't read the book yet, folks, you'll read it and it'll still sound like me, but maybe sound like a smidge better version of the day-to-day me. So, but really, we wanted to gather tonight not as an ending, but really as a beginning. One of the very cool things that's happened for me in this process is being able to meet so many people, so many of you I didn't even know a year ago, or probably about a year ago. And on the day the book came out, Tuesday, I got an email from one of my new author friends that actually Leslie M had connected me to, and he said, good luck on the beginning of the journey. And when your book comes out, everybody thinks, oh, well, isn't that nice? What's next? But it really is the beginning. And I keep trying to remember that and telling myself that. And I really appreciate all your support. And part of the goals of the beginning is that how can people who are the early adopters like you, the people who know me, care about me, enjoy my work, have shared my work with others, how can I help you all be able to help other people by passing it along, by being able to get it into more hands. So one of the things we wanted to do tonight is we wanted to make sure that there was at least a little time for us to connect with each other. And so, the magic of Zoom is we get to do that. And I have such a cool community of people from all walks of life and just all over the place. And the randomness of putting maybe 3 of you together in a room just to be able to say hi and tell, how do you know me or my work, and get to know each other a little bit. So what I'm going to invite you to do is we're just going to take 5 minutes and do that. And Deb's going to just put us into random breakout rooms. And there's probably somebody in there that you didn't know, somebody who really would benefit from knowing you. And all you're going to just chat about is who you are, where you're from, how you know me, or what the connection is to why you're here tonight. So Deb's going to do that. And then as we go along the night, one of the things I sent you in advance is some ideas of how we could share the book. And so we'll come back together with that little group and just again take 5 minutes a little bit later and talk about how you can help. I know so many people have asked, how can they help? How can they help support me and support the mission of really being able to help people change their lives at work without having to change everything in their lives. So we are definitely, so we're definitely going to need all of your help and all of your ideas. We've got lots of ideas, but it all is better when it's through your hands and helping you. So with that, I'll babble enough. We'll have time for questions and comments and toasts and things later. And I'm also excited that you're going to get to meet my mom a little more, who the book is dedicated to. And she's going to come and join me in the studio to talk a little bit more and just ask me questions. I have no idea what she's going to say. I never have any idea what she's going to say. So, but for now, we're going to go into breakout groups. If, this is probably not a shy group, but if no one knows who's going to start, the person whose name starts earliest in the alphabet, if you would just kick off your group, it's going to go fast. It'll be fun. And I'm going to ask Deb to take us into little groups. And I'm going to kind of pop around and say hi in the groups as we can. So, are you ready?
Go.
See you in a bit. Dane, I think we're back.
We are.
And we're live. Are we live with everybody?
I think we're still live. Last I checked, we're still live.
We are back out of the groups. Everybody's recovered.
No, I wanted to talk more.
I think your mother and I we just started to get talking. We could have been there for half an hour.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we'll have to set up a Zoom call where
Yeah.
you and my mother, I mean, yes, yes.
It's gonna be a whole thing. Yeah.
It'll be a whole thing. We could have a whole podcast on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The swagger she has.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
Okay, everybody,
I
we're
think
back.
Swagger Sisters is still a good, I have to check the URL. Swagger Sisters still might be a good one to have.
Where'd everybody go?
Okay, I think we're back. I think we've got everybody back from the first breakout session. So one of the things we want to make sure everybody did receive earlier in the day is their scripts and info. So we've got a whole bunch of information. And if you didn't receive it, I believe Deb was going to share that perhaps in the chat, but I think everybody probably received that from redcapesharesquad.com. If everybody could check earlier emails.
And you don't need it right now, but it's just a reference to be able to have as you think about how we extend it.
How we extend it. And then one of the cool things that I think that we all could do right now probably is take your book and your phone and perhaps do a little selfie, shoot where you're at, let everybody know you've got it, you're reading it, shoot it out there, post it, put it on social network, and we'll get more information out. But in the guide that was sent to you earlier today, obviously, it's going to kind of tell you who to share it with, what do you do to share, how do you do it? And the best thing that I've learned for the last few years of my life is I love the fact that Darcy always tells me what to say. And as her younger sister, it's been very valuable in my career, what to say and when to say it. So I hope you'll find some of these tools valuable for you as we get this book in more people's hands and out across the great country of ours. So we're going to head back into another group, I believe. Deb, is that correct? Or a different group, or we're going to mix and mingle a little bit more? Am I right? Wrong?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is try to take that picture that you just did, and go ahead and make a post right now. Let's go ahead and get some word out right now as we're all talking. Let's go ahead and take that selfie. Let's make a post. If you have your guide handy, you can just copy and paste some of the words that are in that guide. Darcy's been wonderful in putting all that together for us, made it really simple for us. You can use the Twitter, you can use the hashtags Darcy's provided to you in that guide. There's all of Darcy's, make sure you tag Darcy too. She's got her tags in there for everything too as well. So as we break into another group, we're going to go ahead and work together. We work together better as teams usually have someone else helping us out and pushing us to get that done. So we'll break out into that group, and then we will come back in about 5 minutes.
And if you're not somewhere where you can do something or whatever, I mean, just to have a conversation, chat, I mean, really, we wanted to be able to give people some time to do it or to ask questions if they wanted, but we also really want, all these great people to be able to connect with somebody else. And then when we come back, I'm going to move my mom into here, and then we're going to get to hear from her. So.
Oh boy.
Who said, oh boy, give that man a drink?
I think Tom, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I know a couple people just joined us, so we're just going to go into kind of a little share squad room to kind of just keep getting to know each other a little more, and we're going to get set up for my mom and me to talk about Red Cape Rescue and whatever else she's going to ask me. I really don't know. So,
all right, here we go.
All right. Have fun chatting.
Well, without further ado, because this could go on for a long time, the three of us, and it has for at least 51 years of my life. But I want to bring into the picture the matriarch of this family. Now, many people have asked her before if she's a third sister and where she fits into the lineage of the Eichenberg clan. But nonetheless, Darcy's guest tonight. Guest interviewer is no better person to interview her, who knows absolutely everything about my sister and myself. Is our mother, the love of our life, Joyce Ann Eichenberg. So welcome to Zoom, Mom. This is your rookie experience, your maiden voyage, but welcome to Zoom, Joyce.
Dana, I'm not a Zoomer, but I've Zoomed before.
I don't want to know the details of your private life.
Okay. So, hi, everybody. I'm so happy that you're all here tonight. There should be like 25 people more, but Darcy's worked really hard on this book. And the only thing I can tell you that I've done for her is, Darce, would you like to come over for a drink? Darce, how would you like dinner tonight? Darce, do you have anything to eat tonight? Darce, do you need anything at the grocery store? So that's been my contribution to her book. I really have nothing to do with her writing, her talent. She's way more talented than I am. Both of my girls are actually.
You have many other talents.
Yeah, I have some, but they're few and far between. But Darcy, I just want to ask you, why did you write this book?
So I wrote it so you could make me dinner once in a while.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No, in all seriousness, I wrote the book because I kept seeing smart professionals who would get themselves in a swirl. They'd get stuck. They would feel like something would not be right at work. And they would feel like, well, it's them. And then they might go and look for a new job, and maybe they'd get a new job, but more often they'd find that that was super hard, and it would just crash their confidence. It would just make them feel awful. And then so that they say, well, maybe what I have is okay. Maybe I can just, I can just deal with it. And then they'd stay stuck, and then they would, get frustrated and angry about it, but feel it was all them. So I wrote the book for that person who hits that pothole in their career, something happens, and instead of having to look outside, that they know what they can take control of, that there are so many things that they can do right where they are and just as they are, and they can create the life at work that they want.
Okay. Well,
Does that make sense?
it does make a lot of sense. She just worked her butt off on this book, and I'm wondering, how did you ever stay focused on writing though, with all the other things, your clients and your people and I know you love your clients and you are really dedicated to them, because when they need help, I know some of them call you without an appointment. I know that how that happens. So, how did you stay focused to the book? You had to have like a lot of distractions. So how did that happen?
Well, so one thing is having a great publishing team and being able to have a schedule. And I know Ronnie, project managers on there, and I mentioned Kendra before, but when it was time to write, once I'd made the commitment, and I hadn't made the commitment to do another book for a long time. Like it was probably 5 years past when I kind of thought that I would write a new book. But there were so many other things that were happening in my life and things that I was interested in. And I wasn't quite clear about what did I care enough about to write about. So, but when I met the team at Page Two and, just really hit it off from them and, realized I didn't have to do it on my own. I could have support. And, we set up, we had a schedule. And, once I commit to a schedule, I'm usually pretty good about keeping it. And, so there was a period of time where every weekend I would work on a chapter to get to Kendra, and, she sent things back to me, and, just keep working it. And then eventually the time is up and you're like, okay, not everything's perfect, but it's done. And, you move on. So, but, I don't know why I'm getting a breakout room signal. So, but we'll let Deb take care of that. So, but, yeah, but it is also saying no to a lot of things. I mean,
so that's probably one of the things you learned while you were doing this, is how to say no to things.
Well, I've been pretty stingy with my time in general about
Except
what
when you have to come to my house for dinner.
That's true. Well, that's why I'm stingy about my time. It's one of my
Which
goals.
I love.
But that's one of my goals. Sorry, guys. That you know, when I recreated my own life, one of my goals was when my family calls, I want to be able to say yes. You know, I want to be able to do what are you doing Thursday night? Do you want to go to the basketball game, or do you want to come over on a Tuesday for drinks? Because we didn't live nearby until I was 50, right? So for years. So, you know, that's something that I've prioritized in my life, but it does mean that can you be on a call at 8 o'clock is a no, or, but, you know, I think too, it probably didn't hurt that a lot of this writing and work was happening during COVID, when a lot of the things I was involved in the community, like the evening things and the going out and doing things, they all took a pause. So there was a little more time, but in the end, it was just, there were projects I didn't go after. There were clients I didn't pursue. Leslie and I were talking about this the other day. Leslie M and I did a great LinkedIn Live. So if you're on LinkedIn, go check it out. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, it's a hoot. Yeah. But you know, we were really just talking about, you know, when you write a book, it's not just the only thing you're doing. You know, it's not the lone wolf in the attic. There's a wolf. I don't know. So, you know, it's not the, you know, in your cardigan, you're typing in the attic all day. I mean, it's fitting it in between other things, and you just have to put it on your schedule. And I have Deb too, to keep my schedule going, and the days we blocked out that like, this is a writing day, she would say no to people for other things on those days. So it gets done.
Yeah.
Everything the calendar keeps moving forward.
I know that. Hey, Dar, so you've written this book for other people to learn things. What's something you've learned about?
It's a good question.
I mean, you're preaching to people all the time, so that's what have you
Well, I need
learned?
to preach. Yeah. I think the biggest lesson, and I constantly am learning this, but is the chapter on ask for help. That I wrote that chapter knowing that it is one of my biggest weaknesses, and actually it gave me kind of a kick in the pants. One of the first things that I did when we were getting into the content, you know, not only, you know, working with Page 2 and having the help there, but, you know, I realized looking at some of the content, there was some research and there were some things that just would take me into a different path, but I needed it. And so I reached out to Marcy Bailey's on this, and asked, you know, and she had generously offered in the past, like, what can I do? And said, would you be interested in being able to do some research for me and, you know, talk about where the holes were in the book and going a little deeper. And, you know, I forget sometimes how rich my community is and how many people will do things. And it's kind of like having this tonight and saying, you know, hey, please share, please give us, you know, introduce us to other people who might want the book. You know, that's something that I continue to learn and practice. I get better, but I forget. And I think we all forget. People come across, sometimes you come across as, oh, you have it all together, or you're so organized. And yeah, I am organized, but still there's always 1,000 things that you drop and things that don't happen. So yeah, that's probably one of my lessons.
One thing about Darcy, though, she would, there'd be things that would happen during the day, and she'd come over and have dinner and we'd have a drink, and I knew things had happened, but she's always upbeat, never a downer, always thinking forward, always asking about me. And actually both of my girls do that. So I'm really lucky to have two really great girls.
You didn't say that before we got on.
They paid me to do that. So,
You're just thinking.
I think the champagne is starting to take over now.
oh no. Rat. No, seriously. I'm lucky. You know, everybody says, you're so lucky to have both of your girls living close by.
Yeah, that was something that was not an ongoing thing. We've
never lived.
We've always been airplane rides apart. And so it's only been in the past, you know what now, 7 years that we've lived near each other, and less for Dana, huh?
Can't drink this.
You can drink that. Yeah, you're allowed. Are you of age?
Mhm.
How old are you?
65.
29. You'll never tell.
Anyway,
know.
one more question and then we'll throw it back to Dana. How's that?
Do I have any other questions? I don't think I have any other questions. I think what my biggest thing is probably sending you to Northwestern probably paid off.
Wait, I've got a few. Oh, Colette's got her Wildcats.
Oh, class,
I was just
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was just out in Denver with Colette. one of
even
my-
though your football team sucked.
So it's homecoming weekend, which is why some of my other Northwestern, we had actually one of my Northwestern friends facilitated yesterday. And yes, you supported me, you sent me to, a school that helped. And also
She could have gone to Illinois, but oh no, I can't go to Illinois.
so, but, and when I was ready to start my coaching business, you thought I was maybe a little bit nuts.
Oh my
but-
God, I tried to talk her out of, oh, Darcy, are you crazy? Oh, no.
So, but
But she's been a lot of help to a lot of people. I know that. And we're lucky to have her. I'm lucky to have her.
the goal is to keep on helping. So
Yeah, the goal
Anyway.
is for me to still be here to help you.
that's exactly it. That's my intention. So,
Okay.
all right. So anyway, well, thank you, Mom, for being here to celebrate and to
That's okay,
just
Darcy.
get to meet some folks and hang out. And so,
Remember, Christmas is coming, so it's my birthday.
okay.
I love a true Northwestern grad. So Rose, I got to give you props because this has always been an argument in our family. It's never been about the football team because Darcy says anybody from Northwestern could own any business, could be the CEO of any business. So as a Penn Stater in the family, that it has been about athletics. It's certainly, I appreciate your comment about it's not about the football team because you are scholars, and obviously tonight is evidence of that. So,
Dane, our dad used to joke that he used to tell people that I went to Northwestern on a football scholarship. That's so yeah. Anyway.
to all you Wildcats out there, go Cats! But are there any questions from anybody in the group tonight that just want to ask Darcy? You want to ask Joyce while she's still there? Any questions?
She's a brat.
Don't hesitate. Anything is on.
Or
for grabs.
comments
Just a
or
reminder-
anything. Comments or anything anybody wants to share. So just give anybody a chance.
Careful.
Yeah. Careful.
Okay, I have a question.
Colette
Colette.
O'Clair.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Been recognized by the chair.
That's author of Throne, Branded, and what's the third book?
Jumped.
Don't.
Jumped.
Jumped.
Oh,
Not dumped. Jumped. Okay. Yes.
I was gonna hire your mom to be my publicist, but no more.
For your next book, Colette, I'll loan her out.
Okay, my next book, Dumped. So,
Mom's boyfriend is here, so don't say that too loud.
oh. So I went with the horse thing of getting dumped. So anyway, Darcy, what is a piece of advice you've learned that you find you keep giving out to other people?
Somebody mumble drops some balls. So that's probably becoming one of the most popular chapters in the book. Because we all feel overwhelmed from time to time. We all feel like we've got so much going on. And so one of the chapters, and probably something that I always talk with folks about, some of my clients are on the call, they can tell me if that echoes true with them or not, but is really looking at what are you doing, and you have to be doing it. Like, does anybody care? Are you doing it because it was the thing you needed to do a year ago that you're still doing? And so a lot of reports, presentations, or even rather than creating the 50-point PowerPoint, can you have a one-sheeter summary? So things that just fit more of how you are and that streamline your time so you're focused in your superpower space. So I think probably the drops and balls is one of them. Yeah, I'll stick with that. There's probably a couple others. I don't know. People may have ideas about things that I tell them, but so good question.
Darcy reminds me on a daily basis, there's 3 things that we can control. What are those 3 things, Darcy?
Everything you think, everything you say, and
everything you do.
Yeah. And that's how the book is organized too. That's really the core of what the book was around, of what are those things that you control, that you think. I so many people, I think, give away their agency on their thoughts. And Leslie and I were talking about this on the LinkedIn Live we did. And, we control what we say. I had to learn this because I talk too much.
I
So
never control what I say.
I know. So, but you're allowed.
Tom
so.
knows
and then, being able to reinvent what you do, that you can do different things. So those are the only things we control. I can't control anybody else. So yeah, that's
Right.
probably the other
That's true.
consistent thread in a lot of the work that I've done.
And very helpful for me, not just with the work that we do together, but all outside in a professional and a personal daily experience.
I'm always glad to hear that.
That's nice,
Yeah.
Deb.
Yeah.
Darcy, in the beginning of the book, you really kind of share your soul in the story about not getting the position that you thought you were destined for. So I think we've all lived that. I certainly have lived that. How long did that process really take from from being disappointed of not being that select person to really recognizing that, thank God I didn't get that position?
Well, the difference between hearing it and knowing that I was so lucky was almost in an instant. The change of actually what I call listening to the whispers, of recognizing, I think I tell this story in the book, of even after I had started my coaching and speaking business and writing on a regular basis. I used to write, monthly newsletter. Now it's every week. It's not really a newsletter. It's more like a love note, but that I had a vision for, I had written down on a piece of paper somewhere. And when I found it, I was already doing that thing, but that paper was dated 8 years before I actually had taken any action to be able to do more with what I wanted to do at work and do more with my life. And so, it's hard to say, what was the date or how long did things take? I wish that I had paid attention to those voices 8 years before I actually did, because to me, that's one of the things of having more time, having the ability to impact more people and to be able to create more ripples in the stream. And if I'd started earlier, what would be happening right now? So not just for me, but again, for other people. But the realization that when I didn't get the next logical job up, that I was actually relieved, that was very freeing to recognize that, okay, now I needed to figure out, if it wasn't that, what was it?
Didn't have to go to live in Chicago where it was cold.
I didn't have to move to Chicago where it was freezing cold.
Yeah.
And yes, but I was on that path.
I know you
right?
were.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't want you to go to Chicago.
I know. So I love
Were you in
Chicago.
New York that you were in Atlanta? Were you in-
I was in Atlanta at the time. Yeah. Mhm. I was in Atlanta at the time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
right now,
anybody-
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
mother. Sorry, mother.
ahead.
Any other questions or comments by anybody, or anything to add that certainly would help the group and benefit the group?
I have a question.
Well,
I have a question.
Yes.
I want to know, Darcy, now that the book is launched, is there anything that you would have done differently leading up to this moment?
Around the book or
Around the book or your approach to it, like, think about like from the point where you kind of went, okay, the writing the book, launching the book, anything you would have done differently?
Yeah. So certainly at the beginning of the book, as you know, so part of the process is I did a very detailed vision document, and I don't know if Jesse or Trina, everybody, remembers this, but a very detailed vision document. I kind of saw past the writing part. I sort of took the writing part for granted in some ways and was jumping to what is some of my natural language, which is the marketing and the, you know, the kind of creating community around it and moving toward that. And as it came along, and I'm not quite sure how this happened, there were a lot of those things, like building more relationships with even more people. I mean, again, I feel so blessed of the relationships I've gotten to build, but there were lots more ways I wanted to be in touch with people and kind of use working on the book as a way to connect with other people. And that didn't happen. So I don't know whether you just think you have all this time, you know, when you set a date, you know, I don't know, Ronnie, Jesse, when we kind of set a schedule, it might've been last September, might've been a year ago, easy. That you think, oh, it's so far off. Oh, I have so much time. So probably moving on some of that a little sooner would have been one thing. But I think everything kind of falls into the time that it takes. Everything kind of shakes out the way it's supposed to. You know, there's always things that you look back, and everybody on here who's a writer knows, you look back and you say, oh, I could have written that better, or should I have said that? You know, I wrestle with some of the titles on chapters, and even the title in general, like, was rescue too dramatic? You know,
The cover was the hard part.
yeah, and the
Oh my
cover,
God.
getting the cover
Yeah.
right. We wanted to get that right. So, but I think it was really making sure that I managed my time earlier on for some of the things that I wanted to do. But I think I keep remembering that there's still time. Again, it's not over. We're still
Marathon, baby, marathon.
marathon. Exactly. Yeah. And Leslie, I think I might have mentioned this to you early on. Leslie said to me, when the book comes out, you're going to like feel this crash for a while because you're so focused on the book coming out. And exactly what happened the other day. I'm like, huh, you know, and then, you know, you get back up and you just keep, I mean, I keep remembering who's the person out there who's swirling right now, that somebody who loves them is going to hand them the book and they're going to read it or listen to it. And they're going to feel like, oh, wait a minute, it's not me. I'm not broken. There's actually stuff that I can do.
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
And that's a perfect kind of segue, Darcy and Leslie. Thank you for that. And the marathon of continuing to promote the book. And all of you that have joined us today probably can think of 2 or 3 people, and whether it be in your business, in your community, in your friendship, in your circle, who you could assist this with. It certainly has been. I just got a text from a friend of mine that I hired almost over 20 years ago in one of my first jobs, and she was sharing it with one of her children who's a senior in high school, who's actually a freshman in high school. So that really just touched my heart. And, you know, we ask that you continue to share. And Darce, what other ways, you know, what else can we do to support your goal of putting Red Cape Rescue out there?
Reviews right now are the big thing. So, you know, writing a review as soon as you feel comfortable, possible, you know, Amazon is the world in many ways, and being able to show that there are other people who are reading the book, getting that kind of traction. Last time I checked, it was number 4 or 5 in new releases, job hunting, and it was like in the top 10, 15 for stress management. So, but the reviews really help it have legs and also help other people find it. So writing those reviews, I mean, obviously the social shares are great, but the reviews are definitely awesome. So yeah. And yes, book rate for more than, but yes. So anybody who has a company, has a group, has a professional association, come to me or Deb. And yeah, we've already have 3 or 4 companies that we're doing bulk books for, and where we're also bundling it with like a talk, like, you know, webinar talk, or we just did some in-person stuff. So yes, so that's groups, are professional groups, companies, teams, definitely. So no.
Well, certainly that's there's so many amazing things going on. There's so many, I didn't realize there were so many amazing authors and people joining us as well tonight. So we thank you for joining in with us and listening to a little bit of the Eichenberg banter. And sorry for some of the things, but again, it's recorded. So So,
No, she's not
yeah.
talking about you. No.
no, not talking about you, Mom, but we thank you, from the bottom of our heart. We hope that Red Cape Rescue can be put in the hands that helps everybody or helps someone in your circle do the things. And last but not least, if we raise our glasses and finish it out, or Harlan, I think you're still at work, so you shouldn't be drinking, but you got your, but nonetheless, everybody, cheers to you, Darcy. We're certainly proud of you. We celebrate you. And here's to less than 10 years for book number 3. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you all for being here. Thanks
Congratulations,
so much for
Darcy.
all your support. I'm happy to stay on and chat, but I know many of you got to go to other evening things. So, but thank you all. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate it.